Alright guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the TownNation Podcast, which is partnered with SLTD Wrestling. Just to break it down quickly, you can now get the TownNation Podcast on Spreaker, and hopefully next week we've got an even bigger announcement than that. But yes, this podcast is now partnered with SLTD Wrestling, and as always, we've got us co-host, my partner in crime, as I like to say, my good buddy, the one that ended Yusuf's streak, now the TNW champion, Tyler Kellar. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very good, and everyone that watches TNW and everything, I told you so. And I wanna say one thing about they said, oh, you escaped from his his ruthlessness of attacks and everything, beating me down. Well, the rule was to escape. But I'm glad to be here on the podcast. We got a lot to talk about, and I'm sure it's going to be a good one, like always.
Exactly, my man. We do have a lot to talk about today, and one of the biggest news which actually came out today, and we're going to jump straight into it WWE wise, is about Big Cass. Now, he was released by the WWE. No further information has been given as of yet as to why from any news sites, any sources whatsoever. But the interesting thing is that on WWE.com, in their official statement about Big Cass being released, he was not given any future endeavours like superstars normally are. So that makes me think that he must have pissed off someone backstage big time. What do you make of the Big Cass release, especially just after coming back from a knee injury? He was on quite a roll. Versing Daniel Bryan, he was doing all this heel stuff. I was sort of starting to warm up to it a little bit, but now he's completely gone. No reason has been given. No future endeavours has been given. Just what do you make of it?
I was listening to something, before we started it, and I agree with the person. I don't think him and Enzo should have been split up. Like, it was too soon for them to be split up, and you could say, minus the Enzo's rape charge that came up, but he's got cleared from it. He was the better overall, just like character and wrestler a little bit. Not as much, but the overall package, he was doing better than Big Cass as a heel. And that's strange to say that for me.
I mean,
but
I think Enzo was sort of Big Cass's mouthpiece in that tag team. I think Big Cass was doing mainly the work inside the ring. Because I think overall he's the better wrestler out of the two. And Enzo was just doing like the main finishes and the charismatic stuff and the mic promo work. But they clicked. It worked. And as they was on a hot rolling steam train down the frickin' tracks, they broke up. And I think that's what started like all of this stuff that went on between Enzo and backstage, and now as we're starting to learn, Big Cass and the backstage officials as well.
Someone just does not like them overall, and I can tell Enzo, but I don't know what Big Cass did all the way. Like I know there's some stuff that's came up, but like I just don't think a lot of people like them too for some reason.
I mean, the only thing that I've heard is that Big Cass went off script one time, but that's the only thing I've heard, and that was quite a few weeks ago now.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting because I read into it a little bit from some people, and they said it's not because of Money in the Bank at all. I mean, it couldn't have been, because that was one of his best matches as a singles competitor.
It was, definitely. It was. It came as a shock, especially because he looked all good on Sunday. Yes, he lost, which did shock me a little bit, But to learn that it was probably he lost due to this release, WWE knows something that we don't. And what that is, I mean, don't know.
I thought, I honestly said that with Enzo. I don't know if this is the case with Big Cass. And, it turned out Enzo was actually cleared. So, looks like WWE didn't know as much as they thought they knew on that one. But I think just overall, they just don't like Big Cass. And you know what? I don't think his heel tactics was going much anywhere. I mean, he was gaining, momentum a little bit. But, I don't know. I mean, maybe they can just reunite, in the indie scene somewhere.
I don't know, it's just come as a massive shock because no one expected Big Cass to be released, especially without a Future Endeavours. Maybe if they put Future Endeavours, things would be cleared a little bit more, but not giving Future Endeavours usually means, they're pissed. So, he must have done something.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see what Big Cass does from here. Like, Kenzo Mori has released 2 fucking awful rap videos. So, what's Big Cass going to do? It could be interesting to find out. But up next, we have a lot of wrestling topics. We are going to talk about Brock Lesnar. Because that sort of coexists with Money in the Bank and everything. So, at Extreme Rules, we are getting a multi-person battle royal that was announced last night, with Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns being 2 of the participants. I think another participant will be Seth Rollins, and we're gonna go on to that in a minute. But how do you feel about the way they're handling Brock Lesnar? He hasn't wrestled since the Greatest Royal Rumble, which was now just under 2 months ago, and he's not going to wrestle till SummerSlam. So that's 4 months without the main champion on Raw, especially after signing a contract with more money. What do you make of WWE and how they're handling this Brock Lesnar situation? Do you think it's down to WWE? Do you think it's down to Brock? Do you think it's them working together? Do you think Brock can't be bothered with WWE and just wants out of there to go to UFC? How do you feel?
Honestly, the way Kurt Angle came out at Raw and said, look, he's not going to be here often. Well, I'm glad at least they're, saying that. It's common sense. At least they're saying that. And, yeah, I've been the one, he passed CM Punk's record or whatever. Good for him.
But the thing is, I don't class it like that. It's 2 completely different championships. CM Punk was in a different era, and we're 6-7 years on from that now. It was a different championship. So I don't get how people are comparing those 2 reigns. Yes, he's the longest in the modern era, but you shouldn't class it as a championship. It was 2 completely different reigns, 2 completely different championships, and people are comparing it.
It's a title. For me, if whatever your title reign is, and it's a world title, that's just how I feel about it. I'm not going to go over it that much. I don't really care about it that much either. I knew WWE wanted someone to pass CM Punk to say, oh, look at that, someone's passed his reign and everything. I know WWE wanted to do that.
Was Brock Lesnar the right choice, though?
I mean, who else are you going to do it with?
If done right, quite a few superstars.
Yes, but if he's going to have a year reign already at WrestleMania, and he's so close. And, you know, a lot of people were like, Roman's going to win. You know, that's where I came in place, and I was like, you know, CM Punk's day's reign isn't far away. I'm like, I could see him retaining easily. And, like, just, you know, my prediction, and that's what I thought. And when they did that, I'm like, he's passing CM Punk's days easily now. But, I don't know, if he's had a year, and, you know, they were thinking about getting the belt off him, like, and you know, if they wanted someone to pass his days, why not him? Like, he's already right there, like, with the days about, so, and you know he ain't going to show up for a good bit. Like, everyone knows what his schedule is and everything. He's in it for himself, and I don't blame him, honestly.
Yeah, but,
he
like,
is, what, 40 years old now?
Yeah, he could be 40 years old, but at the moment, The Undertaker's wrestling more than Brock Lesnar is. And he's, what, 53?
I mean, I don't even, like, to be honest, this is how I feel. Like, Brock Lesnar, we've known his schedule for, what, how many years now? 2, 3? And people, you know, I'm not saying you can't complain about it, but people are still complaining about it, knowing they ain't going to stop it. We know. Like, would I like to see him more? Yes. Like, that's coming from a Brock fan, you know, overall from his entire run, you know, when he was younger until now and all this. What I would want to see him do is drop the belt, go to UFC, and kick ass like you normally do.
Yeah, do his thing. Go to the UFC. He does like, best.
I like Brock UFC more than WWE from his current run. Like, when he came back to maybe late 2015, it wasn't bad, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, he defeated the Streak, won Cena. He defeated, like, the Streak, he won Cena in a space of, like, 4 months when he returned, so... I mean, his early days of coming back was pretty darn good. I think, to be honest, ever since he won the Universal title, that's when everyone's complained.
See, you know, that crowd cheered for him because they know Goldberg's leaving. You know, and they knew Brock was going to stay for a little bit longer. But, you know...
yeah, but at the time, we didn't know it was going to last this long.
You know, he had several times he could have lost the title, he didn't. And I was like, you know, it's okay. But, you know... Since he's got the days over Punk now, his time as champion has got to go.
It's got to. There's no doubt. The question is now, who's the one to dethrone him? Now, I've recently done an article. Obviously, they're our partner now, so I won't mention it. I've recently done the Fox Files, which is my article every Tuesday. Go and check it out. On Brock Lesnar and who could dethrone him. I've thrown a few names out there, but my top two, number 2 was Roman Reigns, number 1 was Braun Strowman. And I actually think the two will sort of come into factor together. I think Reigns could dethrone Lesnar with a Braun cash-in.
You know, that's... When I saw Braun Strowman win, that's the first thing that came to my mind, right after Braun won. Honestly.
Yeah.
Now, they might, with what we got with Raw last night, with Ziggler, surprise. Now, what do you think about Ziggler beating Rollins in a surprise?
This was actually going to be the next topic, so it's quite a nice transition, actually. I
enjoyed it because it was shocking.
Yeah. And that's the best thing coming out of a wrestling product, especially WWE, because nowadays you don't get that many shocks in WWE. No news sites broke the news or anything. It was a complete and utter shock. I think the last time we got a shock like that was Dudley Boys when they returned. So it's been quite a while, and yeah, I really like the shock. Ziggler's on a pretty good roll right now, mainly due to the McIntyre partnership, because I love that partnership. They are doing really well.
Okay, so I love that partnership too, but the way they're going at it, it looks like McIntyre and Ziggler are going to go at it.
Yeah, I was about to say that, but I think McIntyre could turn on Ziggler. Ziggler probably playing the babyface. I can't see McIntyre doing that. Maybe even at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title.
I don't know. I would want them to be together more. I don't know. I like them together.
Oh, certainly. It's just a case... We all know it's going to happen now. It's just a case of when. But it was a huge shock for Ziggler to win. I was not expecting it at all. And I really enjoy shocks. So, yeah, I really like it. But, could Seth Rollins be the one? Do they now know his... Not now, no, because obviously he's been WWE Champion before. We've all known how good he is in the ring. But is Vince McMahon and the WWE team now realising, hang on a minute, Reigns isn't the guy anymore. It needs to be Seth Rollins. Is he going to win the Battle Royal? Is he going to dethrone Lesnar? And he was number 3 on the list.
I don't know, I know Dean Ambrose is supposed to be close to coming back.
Yeah, he's been working out in the Performance Center lately, so he's close.
So, Dean might cost Seth the opportunity to be, to win that match if Seth is in that multi-man match.
Which I think he will be.
Yeah, so, I mean, what is it, going to be a fatal 5-way like they did last year?
I don't know. They've just announced it's a multi-man match for now. They've only announced Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns in the match so far. They've only said it's a multi-man match.
There's going to be 2 or 3 more others. There's going to be 3 more others.
Yeah, probably a fatal 5-way, I can imagine.
Well, if you're... Who you going with the other 3? 3 names come to mind quick, and I mean quick.
Who you got?
And that's Finn, KO, and Seth.
Oh.
Braun doesn't need to be in the match, and he doesn't even need to. I don't think he even needs to be even on the pay-per-view next pay-per-view.
Probably
I think
not.
he could take a break.
Unless, well, yeah, he could. Unless they really, really want him on the show. But I wouldn't mind him taking time off. He's done every pay-per-view for a while now.
Yeah, I don't think he has to even be on the pay-per-view, honestly. If they got their stuff that's setting up, they got the Intercontinental Championship, they're supposed to have a rematch, but somehow some fuckery's going to go down. So
Seth versus Ziggler's happening next week on Raw.
Yeah, but there's going to be some fuckery in that, probably.
Yeah.
So they're going to move... That match is going to be at Extreme Rules, I'm pretty sure. You got Styles versus whoever wins tonight.
Which I am looking forward to, by the way. I think that gauntlet match is going to be incredible.
Who do you think is going to win?
Something's telling me The Miz or Joe. It's going to be one or the other. I'd like to see Samoa Joe do it, but something's telling me The Miz is going to.
Honestly, I think they're going to give it to Rusev.
What?
I think they're going to give it to Rusev, let him get a showcase with a match with AJ, and then SummerSlam you can have Joe.
That's
and
why
have Joe beat Styles.
I mean, with SummerSlam this close, anything could happen right now. They proved it last night with Dolph Ziggler. It's coming up to SummerSlam. They will flip the script on us.
How shocking would it be if Rusev wins tonight and somehow beats AJ? That would be the most shocking thing I've seen in a while.
That's what I mean. It's this close to SummerSlam that they will want to flip the script on us. They will want to surprise us.
I don't know. For some reason, Rusev is feeling. I know Miz, Joe is the better bet, like overall.
I mean, I prefer to save Samoa Joe till SummerSlam. That is the money match for SummerSlam for the WWE title, no doubt.
Yeah, that's why I say they should wait for that match.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be Bryan because we've already seen AJ Bryan on free TV.
See, I think they're going to do Nakamura and Bryan for a SummerSlam match. Per storyline. And, for Nakamura's hope, they need him to actually beat Daniel Bryan and surprise people.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, something was telling me Shinsuke could even verse Jeff Hardy at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And win the US title, because if he's not winning the main, they've sort of ruined his heel turn right now. That was his 6th opportunity at the WWE title. 3 against Jinder last year, or 2 against Jinder last year.
Hey, don't mention it. Don't mention it.
And then 4 against AJ, and he's lost them all. I mean, what do you make of that? What do you make of Nakamura losing all these times for the WWE title?
See, I don't care with the AJ part because the storyline, what they've done, he's only lost against AJ twice overall, and for the belt. And I don't mind that. With Jinder Mahal, he should have beat him the first fucking time.
Exactly.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Jinder Mahal did not need to hold the WWE Championship for that long.
He fucking botched at Money in the Bank and then again on Raw, that stupid idiot. Botching Mahal is now his new name. He's awful at the moment. I don't know what's up with him.
I don't know.
But, this stuff that's gone on with Nakamura, I think the only way to sort of revive him now is for him to win the US title.
It makes sense.
And to be honest, Nakamura Bryan for the US title, once Nakamura wins, if it's at SummerSlam, so be it. Because they might even make Nakamura Hardy for Extreme Rules, I don't know. But say Nakamura Bryan SummerSlam US title, that is a big money match for a mid-card title.
Right.
So...
And we don't know, we don't know where the Intercontinental Championship is going to be at for SummerSlam yet. But,
this is a really interesting predicament that they've thrown at us.
Yeah, you have the possibilities of Ziggler, McIntyre, Ziggler, maybe, I don't know.
It might not even be Ziggler when we get to SummerSlam.
Never know.
I mean, they've already thrown one curveball in there. They might do a few others, yeah. But it's very, very interesting. I liked it last night, and we'll have to see where Nakamura and Ziggler go from here. But, you've got Rusev winning. I'm gonna go with a Miz winning the gauntlet tonight. Just to clarify, we are recording this about an hour and a half before SmackDown. Obviously, you'll have seen the result by the time this goes up, but yeah. At least you know his prediction. But we're gonna move on here. I'm gonna let you take over for a little bit, just so I can grab a drink. You know more about this than me. Go on to the 20-year-old that was shot in Florida. Go for it.
XXX. if you guys have ever heard of his music, you know, for a young guy like that, he really has good music. And, you know, the unfortunate thing, he was 20 years old, and he was on a charity event.
That now scares me for October.
You know, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. The man had potential to have very good music, and I just started getting into his music too. And you know, it's sad. I don't get it.
I mean, think about it this way.
I don't think they've came out with it was anything game related or anything. I don't think it has. So you can't say it's one of. Now I'll tell you right here, right now. 6'9", that dude better shut his mouth before Chief Keith gets a hold of him, because I've been seeing that beef for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and 6'9" will be lucky to even be alive by next week if he keeps on talking.
I mean, think about it this way. He was 20 years old. That's 1 year older than me. That's the same age as you. That's scary. That is...
And he had all the talent in the world, too. And he was only 20.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely mental. But that is the world we live in, you know.
It's sad. We get a story like this every other day, at least.
Yeah, that's the thing now. It's becoming such a common thing in the news that you're like, oh, something's going to happen tomorrow. And it probably will, to be honest. And that's the world we're living in. It's sad. It's really, really sad. But these things happen. What's done is done. We can't reverse it. And while you're actually talking, if you want to clear up the NBA stuff while you're here, feel free.
You know, they're in the off season and everything, and you know, we knew Golden State was going to win. You know, it was just one of those things. You know, J.R. Smith did the dumbest plays ever. He basically screwed Game 1 for the Cavs. LeBron James, everyone talking about, where is LeBron James going to go? Well, if I'm going to do a prediction, it's either going to be in LA, Houston, or the only other place I see him is in Philly. Like, I think it's one of those places, and, you know, if he could bring another superstar to LA, you know, LA would be the perfect place for him to, you know, settle down, because, you know, LA, you know, he gonna love that weather. So, but, you know, I'm interested to see where LeBron goes and a lot of other people that's in free agency this year. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to win the championship, you're going to have to stack your team nowadays. You know, that's, you know, the sad part. And but that's just how it is. The Warriors have got a all-star team, so you have to stack your team to beat them.
While we're on the topic of LeBron James, actually, he's obviously the cover star for NBA 2K19's 20th year anniversary edition thingy-majiggy. What do you make of AJ being the WWE one?
I like it. I wasn't really surprised when I woke up, and next thing I saw, oh, AJ's the cover athlete. AJ saying, I love this opportunity to be the cover athlete, blah, 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 and all that. I wasn't surprised from it. I really wasn't.
No, I wasn't either. But I wish they updated the photo, because what they've literally done is took a 2016 render of AJ Styles, fixed the glove part, put on his current hair, and left it. I've even done a side-by-side comparison, and it's lazy. It's lazy. But it's going to be interesting. Never say never is a tagline. So, but yeah, more 2K19 stuff coming. Pre-order will probably come in 2 weeks, and I'm 99.9% certain it's Ronda Rousey.
Probably.
So, watch out for that. But the next topic we are going to talk about is, of course, what happened this past weekend. NXT TakeOver and Money in the Bank. Obviously, TakeOver won Money in the Bank. But, what do you make, firstly, of... We'll go through each match on NXT, because there's only 5 compared to Money in the Bank. So first off was the NXT Tag Team Championships. I'm doing this from the top of my head, so please forgive me, as it was Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, challengers going up against the Undisputed Era, which we'll come on to, for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Obviously, the Undisputed Era retained, but personally, that was a way better match than I expected it to be. What did you make of it? I really enjoyed it.
I saw some of Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, facing each other and then becoming a tag team. And, I saw this match and I'm like, it's one of those matches you don't expect too much. But in the back of your head, you're like, it could be really good. And I was like, NXT with tag team wrestling, they've hit it out of the park about every takeover. And I was like, it's going to happen again. And it blew my expectations even more than I thought. Honestly.
I'm a bigger fan of Oney and Danny after that match. It was incredible. I was really not expecting it to be that good, but they flipping hit the baseball ball out of the park, to be honest.
I tweeted this as like, Danny, Oney, this is your time to shine. And boy, did they shine bigger than ever. And they, we know the Undisputed Era is the NWO DX top of faction nowadays in NXT. Like, they're that cool faction that do heelish stuff, but you still love it.
And my favourite faction in probably the whole WWE right now.
Well, more than WWE, they're my favorite faction out of any wrestling stuff right now, honestly.
Basically, yeah.
Like, that's how much I love them. Like, they are really, really good. And I want to point this out, like, some people have that I've listened to their reviews and, listened to the stuff. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly compared to Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish is 10 times better. And they're still good with Bobby Fish, like Kyle O'Reilly is, but I don't know how Bobby Fish is going to fit in with that when he comes back.
Neither do I, to be honest. And I mean, I prefer Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly compared to Bobby Fish after what I've seen. Roderick Strong has been the perfect fit for the Undisputed Era.
And he really has. Like, I don't know where Bobby Fish goes from here. I really don't.
It's gonna be interesting to find out.
Honestly, at this point, I could see him kicking him out eventually.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see when he returns from injury. But yeah, the Undisputed Era retained the tag team titles. And go on. Danny
Burch and Oney Lorcan was supposed to be the baby faces, but you know how the crowd, and especially being in Chicago.
I'm about to say Chicago.
Love the Undisputed Era. And Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan got the crowd into them and actually cheering for them a little bit. That's how good this match was. But, Undisputed Era retained.
And I mean...
Like I thought they would.
Adam Cole is that over that obviously the UK Championship Tournament special has been happening. And he versed Wolfgang for the North American title. And everyone was cheering for Adam Cole. They booed Wolfgang in the UK. That is how over Adam Cole is. It's crazy.
That is.
And I'm actually... Go on.
Are you going to talk about it?
Yeah, I was about to transition into it.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in the warning, spoiler. So, advance from here if you do not want to hear anything about the UK Championship Tournament. But, we have new NXT Tag Team Champions at Mustache Mountain. I am so fucking proud of them. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven are the new NXT Tag Team Champions in Night 2 of the United Kingdom Championship Tournament after defeating the Undisputed Era. This came as a massive shock. What do you make of Mustache Mountain for all the tag teams defeating the Undisputed Era?
I try to stay from, spoilers and everything. But, when it's something big like this, it's kind of hard not to, see it.
Exactly.
But, NXT, WWE, all their accounts tweeted about it. And, I saw it and I was like, wow. I was very much shocked about it.
I mean, the first thing that came to my mind is why that tag team? As much as I love Mustache Mountain, like, I'm from the UK, come on now. Why them? I'm interested. I'm interested to see where this goes on NXT TV. Have they signed a new deal to appear more on NXT? Don't they have
I guess I don't know.
Don't they have any?
I don't know how this is going to work.
Don't they have any creative direction for them? So they're stuck them in a tag team and they're doing this. I don't know, but I'm really, really looking forward to seeing where this goes, especially with NXT TakeOver Brooklyn in 2 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the biggest spoiler coming out of the UK tournament. I shouldn't talk about it too much more now, after what I've seen. But next up, if I remember rightly, was Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet. I said this was probably going to be the match of the weekend. It ended up being best match of the weekend. Still blew my expectations out of the water. Some of the spots they did was absolutely unreal. But Ricochet walked away with a victory, which we both predicted Velveteen Dream would. So, where do you see Velveteen Dream going from here?
I mean, I could still see him being the world title picture, but it seems like they're trying to get EC3 in there, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've got to see a Dream versus Black too. We've got to before Alistair goes up on the main roster.
Do you think Alistair goes up before Velveteen?
Yeah.
Because my main thought was Velveteen's coming up.
I don't think he's coming up yet.
He's probably gonna do these next set of tapings, and I thought he'll probably come up after that.
I don't know,
but
I don't think he needs to come up.
He's one of the best things on NXT, so taking that away could be quite damaging to the NXT product, and I'm not sure, especially with Vince in charge, how the gimmick would do on the main roster. I feel much more secure.
I think he will do right. I think he will do very good on the main roster whenever he does come up. I just don't think the time is right.
I just feel much more secure with Velveteen in NXT, and I'm not complaining at a Velveteen Black number 2 match. No way. I'd love to see it. But after the loss to Ricochet, it's just interesting, and they're trying to push EC3 into this picture by the looks of things. It's just a case of where does Velveteen Dream go? I'm stuck. I don't know.
He's so good as a character and a wrestler, but he cannot be losing too many more matches.
This is the issue.
I know it's only been two, but like he's whatever the next big one is, he's got to win it.
It's TakeOver Brooklyn next.
Like world title or not, he's got to win it.
If he's not in the world title picture, though, which I don't think he will be, after 1, picking up a loss, and 2, it seems like they're pushing EC3 to the bloody moon at the moment, I don't know who else he could face.
They might do a second match between the two. They might do a rematch.
I mean, I wouldn't complain.
No, and I enjoyed the match, but I think the pace could have been quicker just a bit. Just a little bit. Not much.
What did you think?
I think overall it was really good.
Definitely. What did you think of the Velveteen Dream's attire coming out as basically Prince Puma, which was obviously Ricochet's old one, / what people think it was, Hulk Hogan. But I class it more as a Prince Puma type attire.
Well, the chants, to the ear and then doing, the Hulk Hogan thing, that was Hulk.
That was Hulk, yes, I agree with that. Does that mean, though, would they have allowed it if Hulk wasn't close to a return?
I think Triple H allowed it because, Hulk Hogan was the one that really, felt like he eliminated Patrick at Tough Enough.
I've watched back on it after TakeOver, and it was basically Hulk that said, "You ain't got it, you're gone." And it was, it's interesting.
So he could be. It doesn't mean Hulk would be returning. It could be, he's like, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm here, and I'm doing pretty good for myself."
Why this particular match, if that's the case,
then? Just to do it. Honestly.
Trust me, I come at Tyler hard with these questions. We don't prepare beforehand. I'm literally like, right, what do you think of this? Go for it. We do not prepare beforehand. We write notes on the topics, but that is it. So, next up, we had the NXT Women's Championship match. What's a match? Match. It was
There's not too much to talk about this.
No, but it was an interesting match. I mean, I'd have loved to see Nikki Cross win, but it was more or less a given that Shayna had retained. I loved the ending of the match. That was hilarious. But
yes.
Do you think now they are debuting Sanity tonight? Do you think Nikki Cross is coming up with them?
I seen something that they're supposed to be facing the Usos.
Yes, they are.
And Nikki Cross might as well come up and help them somehow pick up a victory.
Exactly.
And then, bam, Sandy wins.
Exactly.
Now, who do you think Baszler is facing at Brooklyn? Kairi Sane? That's who I'm thinking.
Yeah, probably Kairi Sane.
1 year later from the Mae Young Classic that, I still, yet to date, have not watched.
Neither have I. It's one of the things that I haven't watched.
And I really actually do not plan on watching it because I heard the commentary was pretty trash.
I hope they change it for the second Mae Young Classic.
They should. Like, wait a minute, who was doing it? Lita and JR?
Yeah, I think it was.
Holy shit. Oh my
That's why I'm looking forward to the UK tournament thing, because it's Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness. You know how that's going to be.
Thank you.
That is going to be fucking immense. So, after Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler, we had the NXT Championship on the line, and I'm going to take over here. We had Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan. All I'm going to say is fuck you haters. Lars proved himself that night. Except from one botch, but I think that was, after looking back on the footage and zooming in on it, Black was nowhere near Lars. So I felt like Lars didn't know that kick was coming. So when he heard the knee slap, because obviously that's what happened, when he heard the knee slap go on, then he fell, so it was a little bit delayed. Except from that, Lars, by far his best performance, proved himself. He was incredible.
Yeah, he proved everyone wrong, even myself. But I don't think I was too surprised that he did good, because it's NXT, honestly, and just something about it.
It's funny though, because after the match, everyone was like, "Was that really Lars? Is he that good? I want to see more now." And he transitioned a lot of people from haters to like, "Oh my god, he's actually really good." Like that.
Right. Now, talking about the botch, I don't think I'm going to blame it on one person. I'm going to blame it on both of them. Laws should have been closer.
Yeah.
If they was going to go for that spot, and Aleister should have been closer. They should have been both closer. Honestly.
They should have communicated in the ring. Sorry to break kayfabe, but that's what happens now.
Yeah.
But
they should have communicated better, and both of them should have been closer. Now, other than that, that was actually a pretty good, really good world title match, but they redeemed themselves after they did that botch, and the ending was fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. It made Lars look strong as well. That's what I liked. It wasn't just one black mass. It made him look good.
What is Lars going to do after this?
This is what I've been thinking while we've been talking. I do not know. Because if EC3 is going into the title picture, say Ricochet and Dream, because I can see that feud continuing the more I think about it. Say they.
Well, Adam Cole has got to defend his North American Championship on the next TakeOver, no doubt.
But would you put Lars against him?
No.
That's the thing.
Honestly, with them two, I can't see that being a good match. I don't know what it is, but I can't see that for them two.
Unless they make... I don't know. Unless they make Ricochet versus Cole, because he picked up... I don't know. That's how I can sort of see it going. So Ricochet Cole, Dream versus Black... Still though, where does that leave Lars? Because he needs to be in like a main staple type match?
Do they do a triple threat with EC3, Black, and Dream?
They could do.
Have Dream win his world title. Black is do a rematch. They do that for the next TakeOver, and Aleister's up on the main roster then, I guess.
Yeah, because that would be Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So... It's going to be interesting because we don't know where they're heading with it. Tapings haven't taken place, so we don't know any, spoilers. More or less the only thing confirmed is Gargano Ciampa 3.
Yeah, I think we know that.
Except that we have no clue. And that's actually quite a nice transition because we go to the main event. Chicago Street Fight. Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. We didn't think they could outdo the first one. They tried to. I mean, the ending looked brutal. And what I like about Gargano Ciampa, and basically every match in this takeover, and they do it really well, is a storytelling that they tell during a match. It's not just like a match. It's the actual story they tell in a match down in NXT. And I think that's what makes it so good. And this was no exception.
Oh, man. So do you think their first match or second match was better?
Oh. First, but only just.
I think their second match was better. Honestly, just by a little bit. Also, I have both of their matches on Match of the Year candidates, though. Honestly,
I mean, like,
that's how good they were.
I think I put the first one, like, just before, like, above the second one, just because, like, it was the first actual time we saw them two implode, and my favourite spot in the Cruiserweight Classic was the, like, Gargano escape in the middle, them two sitting down next to one another, and then, like, the Gargano escape, which they did at TakeOver. And that's one of my favourite spots out of their whole rivalry. I think that's why I put the first just over the second, but hell, they're both 5-star classics. Come on now.
I don't know. You had a different side of both people in the second match. Like, you had Johnny Gargano do stuff that you never would see Johnny Gargano do, man.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa, that motherfucker as a heel. Oh my god. He gets the ring off, spits at the ring, and just tosses the bitch.
He's the best flipping heel in wrestling today. He's a legendary.
Just for those little details of storytelling, that's the only reason I've got to have the second match over the first. Just the little stuff. And Candice, before the match, gives Johnny the Cane and says, go kick his ass. Just the little stuff like that adds onto it before even the match.
I'm not saying that the second match was shit. Like, they're both 5-star classics. People have different opinions. It's just, I think the first match was more wrestling style based, whereas the second one was spot. Now, I don't mind that at all. Sometimes I even prefer it. I just think it was because the first time they actually imploded since Tommaso attacked Johnny. And I think that's why I sort of put it over. But the second match, that was fucking mental, man. That was mental.
I don't know. I just... It's not because of the spots for me. I think it's just for, like, the storytelling. And, they did wrestle a little bit in this, too. Like, I just feel like overall it was... Just say... I mean, it's everyone's opinion, but it was just a tad... I don't know, for some reason. It was the spots they did from last year. You got Ciampa, toss him into the board, then doing the knee. Then Gargano actually switches it on Ciampa and puts him through a tables.
Yeah, that was like my favourite spot from that whole match. That was incredible.
And then you got the ending. That was just crazy. Like, you got Ciampa catches him, DDT. They're exposing what the ring looks like and everything. And Ciampa wins like that. I don't know if I've been, my eyes haven't been glued to a wrestling match so many times. Every time they're in the ring together, every time they're close to each other, Like, it's just one of those things. Malik saw their first bout. And, they were saying, when are you getting on? I was like, after this. Oh, your wrestling's on. I was like, yeah, those, people you watched last time? Talking about Gargano and Ciampa, you're like, they're going at it again. They're 10 minutes into it, and they've already done a lot of stuff. I was like, they got another 20, 25 minutes. And he's like, oh, man, that shit was entertaining. I was like, you watch this one, it's the same thing, just more to it.
I don't know, I also think the first one was sort of like an, oh my god, this is actually happening moment, whereas the second one, there was a lot more emotional storytelling in it, and I hate getting emotional, so...
I don't know. All I know is we got the third match coming in Brooklyn, and I don't know how
are they going to top the second one, though?
Huh?
How are they going to top this second one, though? What's next?
They somehow will.
I honestly see it being a Hell in a Cell match.
I did see someone put, why not bring back 3 stages of hell? That would actually make sense.
That would be incredible.
And, people are complaining about Aleister Black being the second fiddle. He is. But when you have a story like this, it's very hard not to put.
Let's put it this way.
And
Black and Sullivan. Yeah, it ended up being good, but you wasn't that invested in it. Gargano and Ciampa, you are emotionally invested into it, so it had the right to main event. When you have a storyline that huge that has been built up for 14, 15 months, and you are emotionally invested into it, that should be the top of the card.
Now, I will say this. Their third match, I feel like, should main event too, because it's going to be the ending of something.
Especially if it's like a stipulation Hell in a Cell, 3 stages of hell.
Now, but if Dream and Black are going at it for a second time, I'd put that in the main event, honestly.
Over Gargano Ciampa.
Yes. That's something I can get behind and be intrigued by.
I get the argument that people are making about Aleister Black is a champion, he should main event. If it's Black Dream, I don't mind it. Many other people, I think I'd have to put Gargano Ciampa over it. It's going to be very, very interesting to see which way they go with this takeover. I'm very, very excited about it. I really, really am. It's going to be incredible.
I am too. And what a show. What a show. Every takeover we have is good. Now, I'll say this.
I think this rates up there with one of the best, to be honest.
I think it would have been the best if we would have had Mauro Ronaldo on commentary, honestly.
Well,
it would have been the best. I mean, unfortunate that he wasn't there, but just imagine his voice in those matches, I'm telling you.
Imagine when Tommaso Ciampa won.
He might have been cussing a storm on commentary. And I would have loved every second of it. And Triple H is like, God dang, this dude is really that good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we're gonna move on to Money in the Bank, and obviously it wasn't better than NXT TakeOver Chicago. That was one of the best events, but WWE main roster standards, it was a pretty good show. So, Seth Rollins Elias, I loved that match. I honestly thought for a minute...
I really enjoyed that match too.
Exactly, I honestly thought for a minute Elias was going to pick up the victory. And looking back on it, especially with Dolph Ziggler winning the title now, I don't get why they didn't pull the trigger on Elias. Do they have different plans for him? I don't know. But Seth Rollins obviously retaining, it was a great, great match. What do you make of the ending of the match with the pulling of the tights?
Just seemed like 2015-ish Rollins with the tights and everything. But with the story of pulling the tights and everything, it makes sense that Ziggler pulled one out on Rollins. I mean, that's all I see about it.
Exactly. I mean, I thought the same thing. It was pretty interesting. The next thing we'll cover, obviously we're not going to cover the whole pay-per-view. I can't be arsed talking about the shit matches. We will go on to Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. Ronda, again, incredible. And...
it was incredible.
And Nia Jax's best performance.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. You know, I'm glad it was good too.
People are hating on Ronda, and then after each match she does, they're like, hang on a minute, she's really good.
Like, she sells better than most people that's been in the business for a while.
She really, really does. And
now, look, like, she is going to have some few hiccups. Like, she basically fell out of the ring, almost. Like, she didn't know where the ring was at all the way. But, you know, she's going to get better with all those stuff. And I'll just say this right now, and it's going to be transitioned to a women's Money in the Bank match. Why in the fuck did Alexa Bliss win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match when she didn't need to? She didn't need it.
She didn't. It was a great moment and all, and it was quite the shock. And again, I like shots in WWE, but I'd have much preferred to see Becky or Ember win it, especially.
That crowd. Every time Becky got in ladder and she was by herself, that crowd would erupt. And I hope WWE officials heard that in the back. If not, they might need to get some ear aids or something. Because, you know, I mean, that crowd reaction was pretty big. That just shows how much Becky Lynch has done good. And I just want to say this. You know, she hasn't been in the title picture in forever about. But Alexa Bliss is 3-time Raw Women's Champion already. I
would much prefer Alexa over the likes of Sasha and, to an extent, even Charlotte. But Alexa just lost the belt at WrestleMania. Why need it 2 months later?
It really just shows that they really didn't. I don't know. But one
thing I am looking forward to is I think Alexa versus Ronda could be absolutely off the chain. If done right, it could be fantastic.
I don't know. The storytelling could be good, but I don't know about the match.
Aren't you a fan of Alexa?
I had my doubts. I had my doubts with Nia Jax. I'm still going to have my doubts with Alexa Bliss. It just depends how it is. I honestly do. I don't believe
Is that
Alexa Bliss? Go ahead.
Is that due to Ronda though, or is that due to Alexa and Nia?
I don't believe in someone like Alexa Bliss could even compete with Ronda Rousey. It just doesn't make sense. With Nia Jax, it makes sense. With Alexa, it doesn't even come close.
What made you have your doubts over Nia, if that's the case, then?
Well, with Nia, in NXT, yeah, she's had good matches, but main roster, it's been a little iffy, honestly. She's improved, but that's the part that, I was doubting. Now, I wasn't doubting her credibility to, compete with Ronda. It was just, can she, can they have a good match? And they did. With Alexa, I don't find anything interesting with Alexa Bliss that much. Except her looks, because, she's beautiful. There's no doubt about it. But, did you see in the ladder match?
Yeah.
Lana took more bumps than her. How embarrassing.
To be honest, I'm going to admit, Lana shocked me in that match. She was bloody good.
Lana looked better than Alexa Bliss in the match, and that's the sad part. Lana is actually... Hell, she might be improving.
I think she's really improving. I really do.
But I haven't seen much. I don't know. Alexa Bliss is old news to me. Doesn't even need to be in the title picture right now. Didn't even need Money in the Bank. But you know what? We're in this spot. It was a shocking turn of events when she cashed in. Good for her. It was a good moment for her. Even though I didn't want her to win, but we're in this spot now.
Now, what do you make of the storyline of Ronda Rousey being suspended for 30 days?
I think I kind of saw that coming when she came out and Kurt was holding her back. I was like, they might do a suspension storyline.
This is the Ronda Rousey we need to see.
She came out.
Not obviously kicking officials, but the badass Ronda.
She came out not smiling at all, pissed off and everything, and she legit whooped everyone's ass that was in the ring at one point, most of the time. Except two officials that were the smartest officials after the two ones before them got their ass beat. They just ran out of the ring.
Did you see the most brutal thing during that segment was when the referees came in? You know the referee on the left nearest to the ropes, like the mixed coloured referee? And she kicked the referee. You could see that the ref was hurt from that. She legit kicked the fuck out of that ref.
And the powerbomb was pretty cool too on Alexa Bliss, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. That's the Ronda we need to see though. That is the badass Ronda Rousey that we've all been expecting.
I loved it. I fucking loved it.
That was one of the best segments. Not only on Raw, but I've seen in quite a while with the women's division. And the whole security / Angle thing. The way she even attacked Angle, with the Money in the Bank and then the arm takeover. And even the words that Ronda said. Because I picked it up, I turned my TV up at one point to try and pick it up. And when she was hitting Angle with the Money in the Bank, she was like, I thought you was my friend, don't hold me back. Let me do this. And even that storytelling, you don't see it often on the main roster. Just the whole segment was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Now, the only reason I can think of, because obviously the suspension has to happen for a reason, is the UFC Hall of Fame. So
yeah, or they're just like appreciating her for being there a lot and maybe giving her like a month break, but she's still going to train. I don't know.
Oh,
I think the Hall of Fame thing is coming up.
I think that's on July the 5th. But 30 days rules out Extreme Rules, so she cannot be at Extreme Rules.
They also did it for that. So
it's gonna be interesting. But the men's Money in the Bank.
And we get to see.
Oh, go on.
And we get to see Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax again.
Yeah.
Yay, us.
Early prediction: who's winning?
Huh?
Who's winning? Early prediction.
I'm thinking Alexa somehow.
Yeah. But let's move back on to Money in the Bank. And the last thing we're going to cover is the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Well, hold on. I want your opinions about the WWE Championship match.
Oh yeah, there's that one
AJ
as well.
Shinsuke.
There's that one. I forgot about that. There's so many matches, it's unbelievable. Shocked that Nakamura didn't win. The best match I've had in the series so far. But yeah, quite shocked about the result.
Okay, for some reason, I liked it to the point that it's my first main roster match of the year, honestly.
Oh, it was a brilliant match. It was just a result. I was seriously expecting Nakamura to win. But obviously, they've got different plans, like we discussed earlier. They're going to move...
Yeah. I think for most people, it should be just because of the results that it might not be up there with them. But I honestly think that match is probably their match of the year, like one of the match of the years for the main roster, like the first ever.
Yes, certainly. But even I agree, and I'm quite shocked on the result. But, like we discussed earlier, they must have a vision for Shinsuke Nakamura. Are they going to move into the US title picture? Have they got something else planned? Is he going to verse Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam? Who's going to verse AJ, like we discussed? You know, it's this time of year that's so anticipating, especially when news sites don't break much about it. Because news sites were even like, before Money in the Bank, oh, Shinsuke Nakamura's going to win the WWE Championship. Excuse me? No, he didn't. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Now we can move on to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And I want your opinions on it. What did you make of it?
We didn't talk about the women's that much, but I will talk about it a little bit in this. Just of the fact of, I think I enjoyed and thought it was better than the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Really?
I thought the women's was better. I honestly did. Obviously, you know, the men, you know, they're more, what's the word for it, trained for this. Because the women are just getting, you know, into it. It's like the second year they've done a ladder match. But I think the women really outdid the men on this one. I honestly think they did. And I want to applaud them for that. Like, that's how I feel about it. I think the men's was still good. But I don't think Braun Strowman needs the Money in the Bank case at all.
But like I wrote in the article for SLTD Wrestling, they obviously think someone like Roman Reigns is going to get the shot. They know that is going to get controversial. So this has to be the way at SummerSlam to get Braun Strowman that title, and it sets up a feud with Roman Reigns in the future. Is that why they've done it? Are they thinking ahead logically?
Yeah. I think that's what we're doing. And I don't think Braun is going to hold that briefcase that long.
That's what I mean. SummerSlam. That's why I said SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think that could very well be it.
So, in that perspective, when I think like that, it's a logical choice.
Yeah, it is, but
I get that he doesn't.
Only if they do that.
I get that he doesn't need the briefcase. He should be able to be in the universe. He should be champion already, let alone be competing for it. But, you know, we're here, and we're here in the now. And if WWE think this is a way to get Braun Strowman the title, then so be it. Let's roll with it. Let's go with it.
I agree.
So that is it for Money in the Bank. Anything else you want to mention about Money in the Bank at all?
I don't think so.
Awesome. So the next topic, WWE broke news this week about an Australian WWE show that's happening. It's going to be one of the biggest WWE events ever, expected to be over 100,000 people in the Melbourne Cricket Ground, with one staple match confirmed so far: The Undertaker going up against Triple H. Final time ever. I can actually see it being the final time ever. They're also advertised as AJ Styles, Ronda Rousey, John Cena's advertised, and it's going to be on the WWE Network. Unfortunately for you, at 5 a.m. your time. So, what do you make of it?
Wait a minute, that's 5 a.m. my time?
Your time, 5 a.m.
You're going to get a little dose, so I might as well just stay up. Well, dang, that's a little disappointing. I thought it might have been, just a little bit later, not that much later, but...
But what do you
It's good for them to do stuff like this. I like them doing stuff like this, to be honest.
It's something different.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's just...
look at how the Greatest Royal Rumble turned out. Overall, that turned out pretty good. I enjoyed that one. I think this is going to be even better than that. It's in Australia. It's down under. But I also think this could open up other opportunities. Now, I've got another topic in mind relating to this, actually. But I think this will open up other opportunities in the world. To travel around, do network specials, do something different. And especially if they're introducing this, I know the trial was called WWE Network 2.0. It's basically like a tiered network. If they do that, they should do more events on the network. Stream the Madison Square Garden ones, go around the world, put them on the network, stream them on the network. And it also gives us, one, more content for WWE fans, and two, it's something different from your average pay-per-view or weekly show.
I agree.
But relating to the topic of opening up about the others, the NXT United Kingdom Division, or show now. So they've announced, obviously the UK title will be on it, but they've announced a new women's division, a new NXT UK Women's Championship, and a new NXT United Kingdom Tag Team Championship. Tapings have been announced for Liverpool, Birmingham, Cambridge, and somewhere else, I can't remember. But this is also another opportunity. Living in the UK, I'm pretty proud and happy with where the UK division is going. In NXT, Mustache Mountain, obviously now NXT Tag Team Champions. And it's... yeah. I'm proud of them. What do you make of the NXT UK division?
I'm glad they're getting the spotlight and they're finally doing the tapings and everything like they need to. It'll be interesting how they do this show, or how they do it. Honestly,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, it's on the network, but it might even just be on TV in the UK or something. I don't know.
It should be on the network.
It should be, definitely. So that is about it, because we have run over time. We are into 1 hour and 11 minutes now into the podcast. Absolutely incredible, the longest we've done. So if you did enjoy it, make sure to like this podcast. See, I'm losing all my words now. We've gone for that long. Make sure to like this podcast. Show your support for it. If you want to download it, you can do either through YouTube by downloading the MP3 if you've got the YouTube Premium, which is out in the UK. I've got it now. Eek. If you head to Spreaker, type in TownNation Podcast, it will come up for you. We are now on Spreaker. We've got another announcement incoming once that's officially sorted out. Make sure to comment down below any topics you would like us to talk about. We're open to talking about anything. It doesn't have to be WWE related. I know we're both WWE guys and we cover a lot of WWE on the channel, but we're up for talking about anything, so any topic whatsoever, feel free to comment it down below and we'll do our best. And make sure to officially join the nation by subscribing to the channel. We are quickly on the road to 2,500 subscribers. Head over to the Tyler Kellar Show on YouTube as well for all your Madden, Fortnite, NBA, WWE stuff, everything. So go and subscribe to him, and until next time, we will catch you all in the next one.
See ya.